There's something profound in life that often goes unnoticed, the idea that everything we do, on some level, creates a reaction. It may seem simple at first, but if we reflect more deeply, we realize that this principle is embedded in every aspect of our lives, in our choices, our interactions with others, and even in our relationship with God. Imagine a moment when you made an important decision. Something inside you said, "This is the right thing," but after taking action, something unexpected happened. Maybe it was a challenge, a blessing in disguise, or a lesson you hadn't anticipated. Have you ever wondered why life seems to respond in such a way, almost as if it were a natural sequence of cause and effect? In the Bible, we have a clear example of this dynamic through the story of David and Goliath. When David faced Goliath, he wasn't just fighting against a physical giant. He was, in fact, triggering a reaction in the spiritual world. He took an action of faith and courage, and that action provoked a divine reaction. David's victory over Goliath wasn't merely the result of his skill with a sling, but the reaction of God to his action, driven by trust in him. It seems that in our daily lives, we forget that every action of ours, no matter how small, is also an action that creates a reaction. And with that comes an essential question: what reaction are you expecting from your actions? Sometimes we seek quick results, immediate answers, but the truth is that life's reactions can be far more complex than we imagine. When we do something with a pure heart and the intention to serve others, the reaction that follows may not be what we expected, but it will always be an opportunity for growth and transformation. Have you ever found yourself expecting something from God after doing something right? For example, you helped someone, sacrificed something important to you, or simply did good when the world around you seemed to offer nothing in return. In such moments, God's response may be subtle, but it will always come. He sees the intentions of our hearts, and often the divine reaction comes not as something we can touch immediately, but as a change within us. God's reaction might come in the form of peace, clarity, or even challenges that shape us and bring us closer to Him. Understand that when we act, we are creating something that will resonate through time and space. Like the ripples in a lake, the initial action creates waves that spread, often in ways we cannot control or predict. The reaction, therefore, is not always something that happens immediately, but something that in due time will manifest in ways that shape our journey of faith. How do you deal with these reactions in life? When something doesn't go as expected, do you panic? Or do you see it as an opportunity to trust more deeply in God, knowing that He has a purpose that transcends what you can see right now? The Bible teaches us to trust in the Lord with all our heart and not lean on our own understanding. In Proverbs 3:5-6, we are reminded that we should trust God to guide our actions, and when we act with that trust, the reactions that follow will align with His divine plan, even if we cannot fully understand them. Now, think for a moment. Every action you take, from how you treat those around you to the choices you make in your day-to-day life, is creating something. It is creating a reaction, and that reaction could be the opportunity for you to grow, mature, or even experience God's love and grace in a deeper way. Jesus, in His walk on earth, demonstrated this perfectly. Every miracle He performed was preceded by an action motivated by love and compassion. When He healed the sick, when He fed the hungry, these actions provoked reactions in the hearts of the people who witnessed them. The reaction wasn't just physical, but emotional and spiritual. The faith of many was awakened, while others, seeing God's power, had their hearts transformed. Jesus knew that every action He took triggered something beyond what human eyes could see. The great challenge for us in our daily walk with God is to learn to act in faith, even when we don't immediately see the reaction or reward. We are called to live according to God's will, to act with kindness, love, and faith, even when circumstances seem unfavorable. By doing so, we can be sure that on some level, we are creating a divine reaction that may not be visible right now, but will manifest in time. When we talk about action and reaction, it's not just about a cause and effect dynamic. It's also a journey of trust. Trust that even in the simplest actions, we are allowing God's love to be revealed in the world around us. Instead of waiting for immediate reactions, we must learn to trust that as we act with the right heart, divine reactions will align with the perfect plan God has for us. Sometimes the reactions don't come in an explicit or quick manner, but just like the farmer who plants the seed, we know it will grow in its own time, even though we cannot see the roots developing immediately. In the same way, our actions produce spiritual fruit that will manifest along our journey with God. When we take an action of faith, when we put God first and act with a sincere heart, even in the face of difficulties, we are creating a reaction in the spiritual world. The Bible teaches us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. When we act in faith, even if we cannot see the outcome immediately, we can trust that the reaction is happening. And at some point, God will bring forth the fruit of our trust and actions in ways only He can orchestrate. Therefore, at the moment you make a decision, at the moment you act with the intention of following God's will, remember that the reaction is not something you can control. But it may be the divine response, coming in a unique and wonderful way. Trust that in every act of faith, God is working in you and around you, creating a reaction that may not be visible now, but will be transforming. Now, how do you feel knowing that everything you do has a reaction, a divine response on some level? Perhaps you haven't seen that response yet, or maybe you are in a moment of waiting. But remember, God is always working, even when we cannot see.